On the surface, the quiet shores of Manly seem like the perfect getaway destination. With some majestic views and spectacular green hills, it's hard to believe that it's also home to one of Sydney's most haunted location, North Head Quarantine Station.
The quarantine station officially opened in 1832. The first two ships that arrived to Australia were convict ships. Thereafter, any ship that came in was because people wanted to immigrate to Australia. Basically, when a yellow flag was raised on board a ship, that's to indicate that there was sick on board. So therefore, the ships docked and everyone on that ship, including the captain and crew, were quarantined.
Since it ended operation in 1984, the station has been transformed into one of Manly's most popular tourist attractions. Supposedly haunted by the ghosts of its former staffs and patients, its chilling tales of paranormal occurrences reported throughout the site has fascinated both skeptics and believers alike.
People, I think, at the very beginning of the tour, they'll laugh and joke, but sometimes if you get an incident that occurs, like a loud bang and there was no reason for it, or a number of people have reported a feeling or a sighting or feeling unwell, or psychically I was able to give confirmation on something, they walk away thinking, okay, well now I think something is unusual about this place.
In an attempt to capture a first-hand account of the station's supernatural phenomenon, a volunteer has been chosen to perform an experiment inside one of the station's most haunted areas. Tim Turner, who had been a one-time participant of the station's regular ghost tour, has his point of view on the existence of ghosts and the world of the paranormal.
I've always agreed with the paranormal state of mind. I always believed in it, like the psychics and the mediums and all that. But some of them, you just kind of think, no, they're rubbish. Like Derek Recorder, I think he's a bit crap. I don't think he's for real.
Although many of the site's buildings has its shares of grisly tales, the hospital wing of the station is said to be one of the most haunted locations in the area. It is the place where many of the inhabitants spend their final days before surrendering to death and disease. In order to successfully experience the site's paranormal activities, Tim would have to spend 30 minutes alone inside the hospital wing. His every move and his every word would be recorded by cameras during the entire time.
Okay, we have the original hospital, which is behind you. I'm standing in front of the second hospital that was built, and this is known as the hospital precinct. Only the sick would actually be brought up here, so when they arrived on the ships and a yellow flag would be raised, it indicated there was sick on board. Immediately, the sick were brought up to the hospital area, and if you were healthy, you went to healthy ground.
Throughout the course of the experiment, Tim would be aided by a number of equipments that would allow him to detect the presence of spirits within the building.
These are EMF meters, electromagnetic field meters. This is probably the top of the range, a lot more sensitive than this one. This is called a K2 EMF meter. And the theory is that ghosts can create their own electromagnetic field, and if it does, it will actually come up. This will actually flash, and this light here, that was these guys, don't worry. And this needle will actually move. With the electrostatic field, this will actually glow red because it needs like electrical current to have it glow red. And I have seen this on a couple of occasions, sitting on this table, and it will start glowing by itself. This one's a thermometer, so this gives you the surface temperature. When you're investigating, it's good to have two thermometers, one for the air and one for surface. With the temperature, it can actually elevate and drop quite quickly. And if it does that, it wouldn't be due to normal air temperature. It would have to be causing it. So we're not near any open windows. All the windows are closed. The door is actually across the hallway, so we know it's definitely not anything that's a breeze coming in from outside, basically.
When we leave you alone, you will have to say a statement, like loudly, well, not very loudly. But
I don't want to wake them up.
Just tell them that you mean no harm, and if they could, like, show themselves. Yep, just tell them to show themselves.
Okay.
And yeah, say it in a respectful manner.
The lights went out, they just turned the lights off. They're just leaving at the moment. Okay. Any spirits? Anything in here? If you wouldn't mind just showing yourself. I'm not here to harm you or disturb you. I just want to sense your presence.
Not long after the experiment proceeded, Tim began to experience a number of unexplainable occurrences.
Okay. Something just moved behind me. Something is at that window. And it's just really all beds in here. And as Tish said, 572 odd people died in here. And that does not really make me feel any better at all. Now, as you can see, that is actually moving, which means there is something in here. Not a big something, but there is something. Something moved over there again. There's like tapping noises. Almost like footsteps. And that's really freaking me out. Because I can't see past the light there. And I can hear footsteps up there. Although nothing's showing up on these things. It is very cold at the edge of the table. A lot colder than it is if I move it up to here. Okay, what was that? You should just have heard that rattling noise. And that with the footsteps, I think there's something in here. Okay, now there's noises coming from back there. I don't know what it is, like a scratching on the wall.
Once the crew returned inside, Tim immediately recounted what he had experienced during his entire time alone. At that moment, Tish revealed to us some rather startling
I can
revelations.
say on this one if you like, but before I walked out the room, there was a figure moving across here. There is a nurse in this particular room, and she wanders up and down these two particular rooms checking on her patients because she is living in a memory that she is working as a nurse looking after her patients, and that's why she...
And can you say that you didn't tell me that before? So that was not in my mind. That I
tell you that before because the only reason why I didn't want to tell you is that you want to fight that absolute crap out of you before you even start. So there was no way I didn't want to put fear into your mind. I just wanted to see independently what you got yourself.
The experiment officially concludes, and the results were satisfying. But how does the volunteer himself feel about the overall experience?
It was terrifying, hauntifying, and mystifying. Locked in that hospital wing for 20 minutes or so, and all the noises around you, and you didn't know what was real and what your mind was doing to you. So it was terrifying.
Although many things can be proven and disproven by science, the existence of ghosts and spirits is something that is still debated amongst skeptics and believers. However, as our investigation has shown us, things indeed do go bump in the night at the North Head quarantine station.